What's up, airplane collectors? This is a follow-up video to my review of the Gemini 200 Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the Canyon Blue retro livery. So, in my video that I posted yesterday, I got pretty upset, as you could tell, with the amount of defects and issues that I found in this model, because normally Gemini has had a very good history with good quality control with the 1 to 200 scale 737 MAX family, specifically the MAX 8. My first one was the United Airlines 737 MAX 8 that was released in May of 2022, and that thing is a gorgeous model. I still have it to this day. I also have another one from Southwest, but that one's in the regular Heart livery. That one is also perfect. So I had very high expectations for this model, but the amount of quality control issues really threw me off. Now, there are some that I can't fix, like the paint application issues. I can't do that. And the sat dome, I tried working with that, but I only adjusted it, and you can see the gap isn't as bad now, but once you look into it, you can definitely see a gap there. However, I did point out some things that I was going to try and fix, mainly the antennas. So the antennas, like I pointed out, this antenna back here was bent towards the left side of the aircraft. I just bent that back into place. It was a pretty easy fix. And the one on the bottom here, it was actually glued into place, twisted. Now you can see it's aligned with the center of the aircraft, but it was actually twisted, so I just broke the attachment there just enough to get it to twist. It doesn't come out yet, so I'm not going to mess with it. It still fits in there securely, but I was able to twist it into place. Now, my main concern was with the landing gear in this model. The landing gear was just a mess. Now, I kind of knew that the landing gear was going to have issues because Gemini's 1 to 200 scale 737 MAX landing gear, specifically the main landing gear, they usually don't attach too well because the magnetic attachment is weak and there's a large clearance between the slot for the landing gear and then the wheel bay itself. Here, let me turn the model upside down to demonstrate this. So, this is what I'm talking about. So, this part you see here and the wheel bay itself, there's a very large clearance, and as I demonstrated in my video, when I set it on the ground, the main landing gear would bend backwards and kind of leave the model falling over. Now, Mr. Mustard Man actually invented a fix to this, and I've been implementing this fix on my 1 to 200 scale 737 MAX fleet since last year. First time I did it was on the United one I mentioned earlier. The second one was the other Southwest one that I also have. Not this one, it's a regular Heart livery one, but yeah. I was able to implement that change, and even though the gear was way more finicky on this model and the fit was a little bit awkward, I was able to get that fix done as well. So basically, this fix is that foam cushions are installed on the support here that goes in the wheel bay to kind of bridge the gap between the clearance of the wheel bay itself and then the little slot or whatever this piece is that goes into the wheel bay. Now, it's very hard to fit the landing gear into the wheel bay because of this modification, but it provides adequate structural support to the landing gear so that it doesn't fall over when the model is displayed with the gear extended. So I'm going to demonstrate this right now. So this is how the landing gear should look. It is kind of bent a little bit backwards, and that's accurate. So once you move it to the ground, though, so I don't have the weight of the model on there yet. Still got the nose gear, and there you go. See, it doesn't move, barely moves. And yeah, it still is kind of bent back there, but it's way better than before, and the model stands up straight. So I think that's a pretty good, significant change there. Now, the other issue I had was with the nose landing gear. As I said in my video, it was all twisted, and it looked like it was trying to bust a move on the dance floor. Now, here it is. I straightened it out. I basically broke off the gear doors, straightened those out. I straightened out the strut too, and I tried to align it to the best of my abilities. You can see the wheel is kind of a little bit, it's kind of awkward on there, but on the ground, but that's because it's rolling, or it's a rolling wheel, so sometimes the position changes every once in a while. But the main thing is that the nose gear attaches and it sits in the model okay, and it supports the model. So one more thing I'd like to demonstrate is display stand stuff. So as it turns out, the included display stand does fit into the model. I didn't try to fit it in yesterday because usually they don't fit, but this one does. But as you can tell, okay, I'm going to be very careful moving this because this is definitely a flimsy stand. As you can tell, it's kind of tilted and the aircraft's pointing downward, so it's kind of like this thing's on final approach or something. I personally don't like that configuration. I like them flying straight or pointing upwards as if they're taking off. And as you can tell, this thing is still, the display stand is disproportionately small to the aircraft. Now, here is the Gemini Jet's simulated wood stand. This can be used to display 1 to 400 scale and 1 to 200 scale aircraft for the most part. So if I fit the model on there, right, it's on there, it looks amazing, but all right, so I'm going to let the model kind of sit on my fingers. If I let it go, it's going to start falling and falling and falling right up until it comes right off of the stand and leads to a very significant and embarrassing emotional event for both me and the model. So displaying this on a display stand really isn't an option as of right now. I haven't tried the chrome stand, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. Well, that concludes this follow-up. I'm still pretty bummed out with the quality, but I'm glad I was able to fix some of the issues, and I mean, I might just keep this thing in my fleet. It's not going to sell, so I'll keep it. And from a distance, it looks pretty cool nonetheless. I love this aircraft. It's a beautiful livery, so guess I gotta live with this one, and I'm okay with it. So what matters is that I tried to fix it, and it worked to an extent, and that's all I needed. So very glad to do that. Hope you guys like this video. If you can try and implement the foam fix, go for it. It's very risky, but it's doable. And I seriously hope if you order this model, it arrives to you in better condition than mine did. So best of luck. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for a few more videos that I'm going to post over the weekend. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.